Coming at you from Scratch Wolf Studio, it's that time again to rage across the internet. It's your very favorite Werewolf the Apocalypse podcast. I'm your host, Porter. Sitting across from me, it is a man who understands his density, Daniel Tyson.
Hey, everybody.
To my left, you can schedule her once, not twice. It's the Uncanny M.
Hello, hello.
And the master of the Silk Song, the one and only CJ McCall.
Howdy, y'all.
He's on theme this day. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
First episode of the year. This is going to be great. Right?
Season premiere. How you like that new theme music, huh?
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. What?
You're welcome.
That was a choice.
Brought to us by Mountain Dew.
It was definitely fun trying to pick that out over the, last couple of weeks.
Yeah, we had been planning it for a while. We usually kind of I hated 11th hour in it.
I know.
Yeah.
But we planned it this time.
We did.
Yes.
We did. And then we sat on it for a while.
Yes.
And true to this era of rage across the internet, took care of it in an afternoon.
We plan a thing, we talk about planning a thing, we talk about doing a thing, and then we get it done.
Right, and it's like, let's just do it today then instead.
Yep.
We still have the wind up, but
Yeah.
before we kept we are still discussing pricing the NPCs and putting those in the Ko-Fi. Still, it's been like 3.5, 4 years.
We'll pick an afternoon.
No,
we'll do
won't.
that too. Maybe.
We just need another business meeting, basically.
So welcome to the new season of Rage Across the Internet. If this is your first show, good choice picking the beginning of the season.
Hey, yeah.
That's not sarcasm. That's good. Good to have you with us. We are the show that talks about the various aspects of Werewolf the Apocalypse, from the player teller to the story player.
Hey,
Both.
all right.
Those are real words. From beginning to end, you've been doing this 6 years. Can you believe it? If it's not your first show.
Season 6, right? And you still don't got this down?
You would think. You would think. But it's been so long the dementia's setting in.
It figures.
The wheels are coming off this bus.
A little bit. It was just a sled at that point. It's all downhill.
Yep.
It's fine. If this isn't your first show, welcome back. It's glad to have you. So we're getting into some stuff today. We've got a fun one. We want to go strong, despite what you just heard for this first episode. So we got
one of our more conceptual episodes.
Yeah, topic we're pretty excited about. But before we do that, we have a little segment we like to call This Week in Bullshit. Em, what's going on this week in bullshit?
Well, I don't have much going on. I mean, I've had the holidays, my first holidays here in Sweden, and I can't tell you how they've gone yet.
Because of the timeverse.
Yep.
Because of the timeverse. But I do have good news. I had applied to re-up my ability to stay here, and it was approved. I get to stay here for another year.
Interesting. What if they said no?
Then I had to go back, but the likelihood of them saying no is quite low because,
They never found the bodies?
That. And I'm in the language class learning Swedish, getting a lot better. I can have actual conversations now in Swedish.
Hey, all right.
Yeah, right. That came along really quickly.
Good for you.
And then I also have a job. So I'm a tax paying member of society. So
You're not. Are you still technically a tourist?
No, I have the right to live here. I pay taxes. Yeah. I've got a job. I'm registered to live here. I've got a bank account.
Officially an immigrant.
I'm an immigrant.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm officially an immigrant. They have to approve me staying here.
Yeah. Okay. It's more of are you sure you want to be here? Are you really sure you want to be here?
It's also can you be a...
Can you assimilate?
Yeah.
So when do you become a Swedish citizen?
a long time from now.
Okay.
That takes years, just like it does in the US. It takes like several years to actually become a citizen. I am technically a citizen. I'm just not like a citizen.
Yeah, not a permanent one yet.
Not a permanent citizen, correct.
No, but that's kind of great news.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great news for you.
Yeah. I mean, you guys still got me, clearly.
We do, but I mean, having you back
Right.
wouldn't. You're making the country better. It's fine.
You just need to keep different sleeping hours so that you can hang out with me online.
Or, I mean, we didn't leave. That's not our fault.
Yeah.
I think you're overruled.
Yeah,
3 out of 4
exactly.
here.
Yeah, the majority over here.
No, you just got to get on at lunchtime, hang out with me.
Who's lunchtime?
Yours.
Oh.
Dantanyan,
Yes.
what's going on this week in bullshit?
So this week with Timeverse, I'm gonna get made fun of a little bit again here, but like Destiny 2 here, because I got the friends who still play. They did a little bit of a collaboration, and they collabed and did a whole Star Wars theme.
Destiny is doing a Star Wars?
Kinda.
Okay.
And I mean, like, weapons, guns, like blaster style, even the lightsaber.
Well, of course, the lightsaber. That-
Right, but
Yeah.
like, if you've played Destiny
They've already
2,
got their own space wizards.
yes, this is like a looter shooter, so having a lightsaber really doesn't make sense in this game. So
Don't they already have swords?
I mean, the swords, but they're like, those are heavy weapons. And the lightsaber is like, it's more of the primary weapon now.
Oh, that's neat.
It's different. It's definitely different in what they've done, and there's definitely Star Wars elements to that. Even the campaign mission, they made one of the NPC characters. They've pretty much turned him into a Han Solo. He you have to go save him, and then he's actually frozen in a block of ice.
Okay.
It's like, okay, this is really Han Solo. Come on now.
That's how you do a collab. You got to
Yeah.
put in the little things to get people interested.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot of Star Wars aspects to it. I was impressed with what they did as far as the collaboration goes. I don't see it lasting as far.
There's those always have a time limit on them.
Right. But it's fun. I'm not going to play this forever again. I'll play a little bit, I'll beat the campaign, and then I'll go back and I'll do some other games, especially with our Wednesday game night stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But this has been fun, and it's different. I'm not really a Star Wars guy, but
You got to be careful with that.
why is that?
Well, because fandoms cross.
Yeah.
You got to be careful saying you're not a huge fan of Star Wars. You might get mugged. You might get into trouble. Be careful.
Yeah, especially in Destiny, where one of your main classes has the power to literally shoot lightning from their hands, Palpatine style.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not getting on you about it. But I mean, we both know someone who might disown you if he heard you say that. Mm-hmm. So just be careful. He's looking out for you.
No, and I appreciate it, but yeah, it's fun. What really bugs me is there's a whole many like streamers and YouTubers and I like watching some of these guys, and I'll look up a build and the different abilities and stuff, and every single one of them, this build is the best thing you've ever done, and this is God mode, and this is unbeatable. And it's like, can you just shut the hell up and just say, hey, this is fun, you should try this?
Yeah,
I don't need those stupid clickbait words.
That's how they get other people to watch them.
It's so frustrating and irritating. Like, it makes me not want to watch them now. I'm gonna pick my own shit now, just because your clickbait words suck.
Daniel Tyson is. It's a stance.
Yeah.
His foot is down.
He's planted his flag.
Yup. There's a line in the sand, and this man.
You cannot get excited and say something in front of him, or he'll no longer listen.
Well, shit, that cuts back to why this weekend bullshit a little bit.
I'll close my ears for you.
What you got, Siege?
Tread carefully.
Yep. This is something that I found through a YouTube video that just going down a random fucking rabbit hole one day. Yep.
Oh shit.
Yep. I was going down a rabbit hole one day, and it somehow led me to get into the official website for the CIA and their declassified files to find this guidebook they put out during World War II and has been updated apparently a few times. That was declassified in 2008. The Simple Guide to Sabotage.
Simple guide.
Yep. And the idea of this book is, you have the stories like the massive saboteurs during war and everything, blowing up bridges or planting bombs in like government offices to take out occupying forces. The idea with this book that they made, this little leaflet, was you drop them from planes over occupied countries, and it's a little guidebook to how to be a menace that won't get you killed. How to be just enough of an asshole to make an occupying force miserable and waste the most important resource they have, time. And it breaks down certain things for like different styles of workplace. Like a lot of it is what to do in a factory. The first like 5 pages of this is how to set fires and get away with it. But everything from like, hey, if you're a janitor, don't clean up, or clean up just enough. Let the waste accumulate, let the paper fill up the bin, leave candles out. Stuff that can be filed away as incompetence.
I wanna say here real quick. We are not including a link to this in the show notes.
No.
All right.
No.
I need a link to this.
I am vetoing that shit right now.
We will not be held liable.
Yeah.
We will not be held liable.
Yeah, we are. Rage Across the Internet is not responsible for you being a fucking gremlin. All right. I want my hands clean on this one.
Yep. But there's a few little highlights that I was going to point out that aren't the setting fires or putting sugar in a gas tank. Like one of the simple ones that, Danny, I guarantee you can empathize with because you probably know somebody who's doing this on accident.
Oh boy.
The guy in a factory or a machine shop who's always dropping their tools. Like this is a suggestion: is anytime you are working with tools, drop them as often as you can. The idea is if enough people in a factory are doing this, each one of them wasting that half second to pick it back up builds up over and over. And if you're dropping important tools, you might break them. They might have to be replaced. It's mentioning like if you're working in a place that uses like industrial saws, leave them half embedded and maybe with a slight twist so they'll break sooner. If it requires lubrication, put some sand in it or some sawdust.
This is incredibly diabolical.
And then it goes down to office environments.
Oh, I'm looking
And
forward
I
to this.
hate reading through some of this because I know people who I've worked with who are unintentionally.
Are they?
It feels like it.
Some people are just incompetent.
Yep.
Really.
But here, like some of them is like organizations in conference insist on doing everything through channels, never permit shortcuts to be taken to expedite decisions. Bring up irrelevant issues as frequently as possible. Haggle over precise wording and communications, minutes, and resolution. Advocate caution and reasonableness and urge fellows in the conference to do the same to avoid haste, which may result in embarrassment or difficulties later on. Make sure everything is done through committee. Insist everything must be written down.
Okay.
Any order must be delivered through writing, and there must be duplicates made.
Things done through committee is absolutely diabolical because committees don't get anything done.
Yup.
Another one is promote those who are inexperienced and make mistakes. Pass over those who are experienced and are your strong workers. Give them irrelevant tasks. Give the prize task to the less capable. Hold conferences more at the most critical time in work. And now we're getting down to some fun ones of, this is just for in the general public. When given general directions, question everything about an order. You want me to stand over there? Okay, do you want me with my hands up, hands down? Where do you want my hands? Okay, you want me to go there now? You want me to walk, run, jump? You want me to do this right now or like in a little bit when you leave? Can you imagine how infuriating that gets?
Yes.
I mean, you're off the show already, so.
Yeah. Act stupid. Act irritable, quarrelsome, and just pose as much trouble without getting yourself into trouble. My personal favorites, cry and sob hysterically at every occasion, especially when confronted by government clerks.
This whole time. This whole time. How dare you? Like I didn't name anyone there, just when I was hoping one of you would volunteer.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's a constant, it's like, it's only 20 pages. But it's just a bunch of these little things. And apparently there are places who act like workplaces who actually study this to increase efficiency by doing the opposite.
Well, yeah.
But I know people who is like, have you read this book now? This is something I've been sitting on for a while, just waiting for an episode to talk about this. Because how often do you get to talk about a declassified CIA document you've read through?
I mean, it's a nice hook, right?
All right, Porter, round us out.
All right. Well, I don't have anything CIA related, unfortunately.
Unfortunate.
But I do, surprise, surprise, we'll talk some video games again real quick, is thanks to the Timeverse, it recently, this last week, I believe, Timeverse again, saw the release of Marvel Superheroes Cosmic Invasion, which is the latest side-scroller beat 'em up. It's done by the same people who did Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. Right. So if you've seen Shredder's Revenge, you already know you're in for a treat. And they have taken the standard. I mean, it's the standard side. We've been doing this Streets of Rage, Final Fight, Double Dragon, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
You know, so it's an old formula. It's a good formula, but they've definitely outdone themselves this time.
I agree.
You know, runs on you pick two characters so you can swap in and out like the Marvel vs. Capcom games, 4-player, cross-play, multiple, you know, you give it a name, you can play it. You can play it with your friends no matter what. It's a lot of fun. Not sponsored, by the way.
Bummer.
But, no, we got into that recently.
We were doing the demo for a while too.
Yeah, no, it was a fun demo, but it finally came out, right? And so, like, you know, I've got it, Danny's got it, CJ's got it, M's asleep, not now, during the time. M's here. She's muted, but she's here.
Oh, yes, I'm in a different time zone.
But our buddy Hush got in on that with us too. So we had some 4-player action, 8 characters. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, but a lot of fun. Eager to see some DLC on that. It hasn't been confirmed, but it's happening.
I think it was just confirmed yesterday, actually.
Timeverse is a motherfucker. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, it's, some weird choices.
Yeah.
For the roster, but
that part's a bummer as far as the roster goes.
But there's some good choices too, and I'm looking forward to the Fantastic Four's DLC. I don't know anything. I don't have secret knowledge, but Annihilus is a Fantastic Four villain.
Yeah.
And if he's the final boss, I feel like that's kind of a no-brainer.
Right.
Like, and with it being this kind of game, it is simple enough, but at the same time varied enough that you can just keep adding characters.
Oh yeah, and people will love that because
yes,
Well, yeah. I mean, people like
Yeah.
variety in the first place, but as it turns out, comic fans are a bit discerning when it comes to the characters, their favorite versions of the characters.
Yep.
You will get sales
Yes.
based on somebody being in the roster.
Yes.
And I'll take a swivel here to Marvel Rivals, which we have not talked much about, but we were kind of done with for a while. I think as a
I'm
group,
still playing it.
yeah, I know you are, but I think for the most, we were all super into it for a while, and
Yeah.
that really it had backed out. But the recent battle passes have had such fucking great choices for costumes. It has brought people back in.
Yeah.
And it goes back to that too, right? You want to keep your player base happy? Give them the suit that they want.
Right.
Give them a cool costume and they'll fucking play again.
Yeah.
Yep.
They gave us a real Captain America. How happy am I to play Captain America? I didn't play Captain America very much before. What do I do now?
Yeah. You play him all the time now. Maybe not all the time, but like,
But if I'm playing a tank, it's probably Cap now.
yes.
Because it's so much fun to run around as Captain America, not what they think Captain America is.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's some of the costume choices, again, are very questionable. So when they do give us the ones that the fans want, yeah, so people are going to pick it back up again.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone has a problem with the art team stretching their legs and making some neat designs.
No.
But I would prefer if you had one that looked like Wolverine.
Yeah. And the recent, cutesy dessert themed
Creepy
ones for the 1 year
Candyland ones?
anniversary
Yes.
Oh my
are
God.
fun. I love those.
The Venom one irritates the shit out of me.
Frightening.
That is hilarious.
It is not.
Unhinged,
It is
and
stupid.
It's so good.
Why is his skin translucent?
It's
That is
just
so
dessert themed.
Yeah.
It's dessert themed and it's funny.
So his skin is made of jello because you can see through it?
It's
Possibly.
oh, nice.
They gave him a twerking emote.
Oh, God.
He's literally caked up and he shakes it. Like,
and now
they're
they've got
leaning into it.
now he's got a pearl necklace on the skin. I don't.
They're
disgusting.
leaning into it and it's genius. It's a great way to get people to buy the skin.
I will say, I was massively impressed with the Reed Richards skin that turns him into Steven Spielberg. I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Right, it's
but
weird.
it looks like Steven Spielberg.
It's a odd choice, yeah.
Is that the dad skin?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
The dad skin?
I know you're gonna look up Steven Spielberg. It looks like fucking Steven Spielberg.
He's directing the Candyland movie they're all in.
That's it. Fucking, he did it. CJ did it. He solved the boogeyman. We hope you liked that episode. But that will be This Week in Bullshit. Oh, shit. So we do have an episode for us today. Through all of War of the Apocalypse, there are many themes that we can focus on. There's the good, the bad, there's the combat, there's the basic character interactions. But through everything, we have to remember that it's the Gyro Nation fighting the Wyrm. A large part of that is the concept of worm corruption, of worm taint. But what does that look like? How do we quantify it? How do we deal with the concept? How do we use the worm as an overall presence in the various aspects of the game to increase the ambiance and to build mood? How do we bake it into the setting? What do we do with worm taint? And that's what we're here to talk about today. So we go into the creeping dark.
And it's one of those things that we have a few obvious examples.
Oh, sure. It's always obvious.
Well, I mean, like stuff like the Fomori. That's one way to show worm taint through its kind of most obvious form. The way that it twists and changes individuals as they get possessed by veins. Something that can be caused by worm taint, causes worm taint, or anywhere in between those two.
Well, and truly, to take a step back, because, I mean, yeah, a cause, right? An effective one. But what, in its nature, is worm taint? First of all, let's talk about what it's not. And what it is not is dots on a sheet.
Yep.
Wyrm taint needs to never be dots on a sheet. Why is that?
It's one of those things of, with it being such a fucking existential threat and such a problem that not everybody is actively aware of at the time. Because, you can accumulate Wyrm taint without knowing it. But as soon as you gamify it, as soon as you put it as dots on a sheet, it's something the players can interact with and manipulate.
Yeah, and it's going to change how they're thinking about a situation.
Oh yeah, and it's like going back to that, like it's going to change how they think about their situation. It's going to change how they behave. And once again, I go back to it's the player manipulating that stats.
Yeah.
It's very limiting putting it as dots on a sheet. And Wyrm taint, as an individual being affected by it, yes, the decisions you make might be affected by the Wyrm taint. What's really going to be foreboding, though, as a player, and something that you can play with as a storyteller, is how the world interacts with the individual that's been tainted, or the things or the places that have been tainted. What does it look like? How are things interacting with that? And you can really build the sense of foreboding.
I think these are all good points. The concern, absolutely, in terms of player decision, for me is first. It's not necessarily the biggest, but it's first. And it's the same way that I don't give you guys your renown like a sane person.
Right.
And which is not about trust, right? I trust, obviously, I trust you guys. That is ridiculous that I don't have to say it, right?
We all know that if you're going to if you're going to give me renown on a thing I just did, just subconsciously, I'm going to want to keep doing that thing because I know it's going to reward myself.
Exactly.
Yep. And it, depending on how it's implemented, depending on how stuff like that's done, it can turn this into a very crunchy game when it's not supposed to. I've had a game go where, in like after session, I was a player in this game, and I heard two of the 4 players discussing exactly how many Wyrm tainted crows they killed, so they could track exactly how much renown they get per kill. Like they were doing accounting with their renown.
No.
Yeah.
It's so gamified.
Right. And there you go. Right. You don't want to do that with Wyrm taint. Oh, well, I've got 3, I've got 4. I can be fine until I have 6. Stop. Right. It hurts the game.
Yeah.
It's kind of cheaty as far as I'm concerned.
A little bit, yeah.
So it shouldn't be done.
They can also give away things. Like, hey, yeah, no, we're going to go to this cairn that we haven't visited before. Everybody's just a little weird. Why did my Wyrm taint tracker go up?
Yeah, that's a good point, too. But I step back and I go back to what is Wyrm taint. And I think a good way to look at Wyrm taint is like radiation for the soul.
It is a slow and insidious corruption. Like the radiation for the soul is a really good way to describe that, because it isn't a visible force.
Right. I mean, it can show visible. I mean, there'd be side effects perhaps, but that certainly shouldn't be the way you gauge it any more than dots on a sheet. But yeah, a radiation that's silent threat, but not for the body, not for the mind a little bit too, but for the soul, a spiritual, deep core corruption, which isn't something you should just be able to track. In fact, you should probably not even notice it. Not is the individual.
Yeah.
I was going to say, maybe, is that something that the storyteller can track, though?
I wouldn't be opposed to that, per se.
Okay.
But this is one of these things that you want to keep that away from your players.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's behind the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things of like, you can't necessarily control this about the players. You can't really influence it. But this is where you can mention little offhanded comments that might cue them into something's not quite right, but at the same time, with how you're describing something, like a lot of times whenever you're, playing with fire in a combat scene and you set somebody on fire, you're describing the person on fire. Well, maybe for the person who's got that little extra worm taint, bring up some analogies like it's smelling like barbecue almost.
I like that.
Huh.
Like it means nothing right now. Like it's that weird little disconnect of, wow, that's weird that smells good. Your character might not notice.
M's muted again.
Yes. That's good because I kept trying to say things, but yeah, okay. But yeah, it's how the world is interacting with the individual and how the individual is perceiving the world, or maybe how a Fomori or some kind of worm spirit interacts with that character maybe a little bit differently than it does the rest of the pack, or how it interacts with the entire pack a little bit differently than it does something else in the world. Something to kind of get a hint of what is happening here.
No, absolutely. And I'm glad you brought up the pack, because usually, right, I mean, you're in for a penny, in for a pound in that. We're all in this together. So if you got, quote, 5 worm taint, see how terrible that sounds?
It does.
But if you got 5 worm taint, the whole pack probably has 5 worm taint. Like, I'm trying to not. All right.
Another issue with gamifying it like that, what is the scale? Is it 10 worm taint and then you're a BSD? Well, that's probably going to fill up pretty quickly.
Well, then there's logistics of that too, right? Because at 10, you just like fall into the Temple Obscura? Is that? But I think perception becomes the way, right? It's pointed out, like you individual in worm spirits, like a Bane might interact with you differently. Well, it now interacts with the whole pack differently, right? Mm-hmm. And in the beauty of that is you can frame these things like they are normal. A storyteller can alter a description of something in a way that feels normal. Some time ago, Timeverse is a son of a bitch, right?
Usually, yeah.
I did a write-up for a Black Spiral Dancer for a backer awards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In fact, I believe it was Winter's Howl. And I think it was the first Black Spiral one I did. Mm-hmm. And so when I did the beginning of it and I'm describing the character's home life.
Yeah.
He already remembers. Yep. You hear that laughing? When I went to describe, his family and him and his sister and his mom and dad and how, they had their family dinners and their orgies afterwards and, how his sister really gave great head. And I just described these things like they were normal and wholesome.
Yeah.
They are in fact horrifying and please don't. But the point, right, was to frame from the perspective of the character that this is normal and wholesome and right, and this is just how life is, and there's nothing wrong with this.
Right.
Of course there is, but to him there isn't.
This is just how things are.
Because he grew up in a family of Black Spiral Dancers and Black Spiral Dancer kinfolk. He's a sick asshole. He just doesn't know he's a sick asshole.
Yep, it's a
because
totally
it's
different.
Normal.
Right. He doesn't have that baseline. He's got that high worm taint.
It's a totally different perspective.
Right. Yeah. And so, while my version was a bit extreme, we're doing that for a fact. It's fine. It's a thing. Right. But that was the point of that write-up. Mm-hmm. But see, when you're doing that in your daily games, you can change things like that. Right. You could make the sound of the baby crying instead of extra grating or melodic.
Yep.
Or, for example, the Dream Chasers, we have shared dreams, for example, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm sure at some point in time, well, no, I've experienced it. Carly has had her own dream as well.
Yep.
Perhaps if one of us were to be tainted with the worm just a little bit, but if we get a dream, that's pretty normal. But the worm can kind of fuck with your mind a little bit and try to implant its thoughts. And what does that dream look like from the perspective of the worm? What is it trying to put inside of you? Like it can be insidious like that in a way that's really normal for us to have dreams. What happens when one of us or all of us become a little bit corrupted by the worm?
Yeah. Something's a little off and we make an assumption about the dream based off of what we don't know is wrong information or twisted information.
These are great things. Something to be careful though when we're doing that is, and I got this from Book of the City. Okay. And this was in terms of how Igaru perceives the city. Right. And I'm paraphrasing here because this is not that episode. Right. Mm-hmm. Is it talks about how when describing the city, you talk about the dirty, loud, fucking, cesspool of just corruption and bullshit and everything's awful and you hate it and you wish you were dead. And then you look to your Glasswalker player and go, it's awesome. You are home and everything is rad.
Yep.
Yeah.
You kind of don't want to do that. In that case, because it's sort of, it gives perhaps an incorrect perception. Mm-hmm. Right. And you want to keep that principle in mind when you're doing the worm taint stuff. Like if you guys were going to you have your shared dreams. And let's say Carly drained some gnosis from a couple Banes lately. And so she's got that tainted gnosis. Right. And so you're having your dream and I'm talking about, the goat with the nails instead of teeth, who's eating the belly of the pregnant woman. And, the entrails are dripping down and it looks at you and its eyes turn into black muddy pools and liquefy and run down its face. Oof. And then I look at Carly and go, you see a lovely goat having a snack.
Yeah, because it's a different perspective.
Yeah. But to be so on the nose about that is a great way to tell my player that you were festooned in worm taint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I had a scenario pop up of a way that a pack might get the opportunity to question of like, hey, do we need to make a trip to Erebus? Of, a pack going through the Umbra on they're sneaking into a facility for whatever reason. They're sneaking in, they're going stealth. Somebody fails their roll while they're sneaking past some scrags that are just eating. Somebody fails the roll or the scrag rolls high enough that it looks up, sees them, and hisses at them, but goes back to eating.
Love that.
Maybe they'll think it was hissing at something else, since they don't have actual eyes, so maybe it didn't see them. Well, or maybe that's fucking weird.
Right, and it's subtle enough that unlike what I just did,
mm-hmm.
Right, it's not a giant alarm bell. I think another great way is to have how others react to you. We all know about the curse, right? Yep. So the idea of a human being uneasy near Igaru in the first place is not out of hand. So it's not immediately a red flag.
Makes sense.
But different levels of that can be.
Mm-hmm.
It can be subtle. Worm taint should be subtle until it's time for it to not be. And when it's time for it to not be,
throw it right in their face.
Well, it's probably too late.
Oh,
yep.
Oh, yeah, even better. Yeah.
It could also be something a little bit more physical. For example, if you got into a fight with your pack, maybe that wound there that was supposed to take about 24 hours to heal took 3 days instead.
Or still hasn't.
Maybe
in 3 days.
Or still hasn't in 3 days. It's still kind of there. It's really sore still. You can still feel it. Something about that wound is super persistent. But, you've had wounds before. It'll heal up eventually.
Maybe it heals up faster and it's just like extra gnarly scarring compared to what normally might be a clean wound.
Perhaps your fur is coming back in with a little tinge of a different color. Or perhaps it's coming in thinner.
Or perhaps it's, not coming in at all.
right? But to work subtly like that, you know, to give little cues to a player.
Something is happening.
Right. But
it's not a huge deal.
Yeah, exactly. Without hitting you over the head with a mallet, because that's not how Wyrm taint works.
Yeah, your pack's not going to wake up one day and you have bat ears and a bat nose.
It's true.
Why do you look different? I don't know. Okay, cool.
What do you mean?
Your hairline might start receding a little early.
Right, Danny?
Hey.
Maybe you pick up a bit of a rash.
Danny?
Hey. Whoa.
Danthrok.
Yikes. Fucking yikes.
One thing I will point to real quick is, Porter, you did mention that tainted gnosis.
Yes.
Wouldn't that technically be a point where we've made Wyrm taints a dot on the page?
I mean, kind of.
Yeah, and it's one of those, the exception to the rule almost.
Well, and this is a problem. Also, right? Because let's be clear on this. When you kill a Bane, and that's just a Bane, right? But when you kill a Bane, what happens to that Bane? Okay. It dissipates and reforms in Malpheus.
Yep.
Right.
You don't kill it. I mean, you kill it for intents and purposes for the encounter in front of you. We use that term. But you didn't kill a goddamn thing. It just went back to its spawn point. The way to kill a spirit is to drain its essence, which is gnosis.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
So if you are going to get rid of it permanently, you must drain it.
yes.
And to drain it, that gnosis has to go somewhere. Otherwise, it dissipates back to Malpheus. So if there was a Bane that really needed to go, you've got a little taint for a little while.
I would like to point out that's why we have Bane tenders, isn't it?
Yep.
It is.
For the stuff
Yeah.
too big, too nasty, too dark to take in or to kill and quote set free to have respawn.
Yep.
What do you do with it? You seal it in something.
Yep. Something small, yeah, sure. Kill it off, drain its gnosis. Eventually, with a couple of rites of purification and some time, the taint will go away.
Exactly.
The small ones, just kill them. Somebody else will deal with it. Not a huge deal.
It's a scrag. There's always 1,000 more of them.
Yeah, exactly. Draining it of its gnosis isn't going to make any kind of impact. But you can get rid of it in this space. But, something huge.
And
You don't want to release it somewhere else in the world where somebody might not be able to deal with it.
no, exactly. And how do we do with that, right? Because there's the problem. Find the right in the books that talks about draining gnosis from a spirit and how tainted gnosis works. Find the section. I goddamn dare you.
I was going to say, there's not much on there.
There is like nothing on there,
There is some things in the Uctina book.
I said like, did I not?
Yeah. There's some stuff in the Uctina book. It's not explicit, but it's there.
Well, and that's a
But
problem.
it's not detailed.
Yes and no. It's detailed, but it's also detailed as mysterious.
Yeah.
Well, and this is a running theme, and I've said this for years about War of the Apocalypse, right? It's where sometimes people have trouble understanding things. When I say that, sometimes people think I'm calling them stupid. That's not what I'm doing.
No.
There's a difference between reading a thing and understanding a thing, and that's not a dig on anybody, but sometimes, like, the book will say this, but doesn't specifically say that. But it does tell you that 1 + 1 equals and puts a little line there. Right?
Agreed, yes.
So sometimes you have to read between the lines. Sometimes you have to jump to conclusions because that shit isn't talked about or isn't fully detailed. And that can sometimes be a problem. But then again, you have a podcast to help you. So hi.
Yep.
We're Rage Across the Internet.
Yeah, what up? It's Porter, CJ, and
Wow.
You guys thought we were joking about the basement.
We were, and then he ate too many scrags, you know? Fuck.
Not anymore. No, we're not joking now.
But let's go back to that for a second in terms of draining gnosis and the idea of the corrupted gnosis. And I want to use another one of my fun little metaphors is it's like getting drunk.
Oh.
Again,
Okay.
you don't just snap and now I'm evil, blah.
Right.
Right?
It's a slow decline.
There's a decline. There's a level of tolerance involved, certainly.
Oh, yeah.
How much can you take? Well, how much have you dealt with?
Yep.
You know, I hate to tell you, your first beer is probably going to do you in. You know, I am not going to get drunk off a beer. I am an adult and I am an alcoholic. It takes far more than one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've done this a few times.
Right. You're going to need an extra 0 or 2 before.
I've had, 3 glasses of wine
Oh, I don't
since
keep
we've been sitting
score
here
of
this
you.
evening. I've lost track, honestly. But I'm not slurring my words and falling over as I walk to the other room.
Exactly.
This is a normal Sunday evening for me.
But there you go, right? And just the same way as where I make the alcoholic joke, I don't drink much anymore, but I did drink way much once upon a time.
Once upon a time.
So fucking, I hate to tell you, but 20-something porter and older than 20-something, none of your fucking business porter could drink vastly different amounts with different outcomes.
Yes.
And this is the same that we're applying this to the idea of draining gnosis.
Right.
You know, 1 shot, no big deal. 5 shots, oof.
You know, maybe whenever you drain that spirit for the first time and take in that one tainted gnosis, maybe you just feel really fucking dirty all the time now. Like, it's one of those things like, this doesn't feel good. This isn't great. But as you do it more often.
Well, and let's also add to that too, in terms of worm taint and with tainted gnosis, right? The idea that dealing with Gaian spirits can become more difficult, or some Gaian spirits.
Oh.
Because again, it's not a monolith, right? So you got to factor that in. And again, the same way that Banes is brought up earlier, Banes can treat you differently, perhaps based on that. If you are all hopped up on the dark gnosis, I love that sentence so hard.
A dove spirit, if you're trying to interact with one.
It will probably fuck off and not come near you. But maybe you could walk around in the Black Spiral Dancer tribal homeland and not get noticed. I mean, not by everything, but maybe you go to that Umbra realm and can walk on the surface for a bit, and a bunch of the nasty shit that's wandering the plains doesn't pay you a whole lot of Nevermind. Doesn't pay you a whole lot of mine. Excuse me.
Maybe just a glance and then they move about their day.
Yep.
Maybe a Gaian spirit of redemption is going to take extra notice of you.
Maybe stuff on the edge is, again, more friendly. Maybe the stuff that's more stalwart or up its own ass will completely disregard you. I could see Falcon, right? Just looking down its beak, all fucking high and mighty.
Where Wendigo might turn his head in your direction and be like,
So,
You hungry?
perfect.
Yep.
That's the one.
yup.
I mean, we joke, but we're not.
Right.
Right.
No, it's...
You know, and it's that same way people, and we bring it back again, that people can be a little weirded out by you. Or maybe, how others or react to the things that you say and do. We talk about a baseline for normalcy, right? And there's a little, you want to exercise caution on this because you can meet head to head, you can butt heads with player agency here.
Okay.
But what if when you came back from that job and you're talking to some of the people in the sept and you're like, yeah, there was a civilian and, the delirium took care of it, I think, but we're going to keep an eye on her just to make sure everything's safe. We don't have to worry about a veil breach. right? Maybe that's what you said, or rather, what you thought you said.
Oh.
And people react because what you really said was, I saw some dumb fucking meat sack. The bitch, I think the bitch got covered by the delirium, but we'll follow her, slit that dumb cunt's throat if she becomes a problem. Maybe that's how it came out. You gotta, again, tread carefully there in terms of player agency, but the words that we use, they can mean the same thing, right? But come out vastly different. And if your baseline for normalcy is fucked up because you are worm tainted, what you think was a perfectly polite and reasonable response comes out unhinged and shitty.
It's that first impression. Maybe you're meeting somebody new, and for some reason, they just don't like you. They can't put their finger on it, but they don't trust you. Even though perfectly reasonable, perfectly sound on the surface, but for some reason, that person that should trust you they just can't. They've got their eyebrow raised at everything you say, and they are going to double check your work.
And there's another way you could take that on the opposite end, where it's subconscious reactions to you. A example would be with the Dream Chasers, somebody making a comment about a communist and getting rightfully kind of a character was at their wit's end with them already and getting snapped at. Where if Night Thing had made that comment, maybe given a little bit more grace of like, okay, this kid knows nothing because he hadn't been on his nerves the entire time.
No, that's true.
But if Night Thing had some of that extra worm taint in him, maybe there's that subconscious recognition from Falling Leaf, getting Night Thing snapped at this time. Getting the more hostile reaction just because, our enemy is the worm.
You just kind of sense it. And no, I get that. I like that. This is a great time to add this. When the Garo use the word smell. Because it's their primary sense, really.
Right.
In every form, scent is the same way that we use the word see.
Yes.
Like, I see what you're saying. You're not seeing the physical words come out. That's just the expression that we as humans use.
Yes.
So when you smell of worm taint,
you're not actually smelling the worm, and you're not actually going around sniffing people.
Exactly. It's not like the worm had a bunch of beer and pizza and oof. No.
Yeah.
All right. The dog didn't do it. It's a metaphor.
It's kind of like when you're gossiping with your friend and they're, saying some suspicious things about their, significant other. Maybe they might be cheating. You go, smells funny. I wouldn't trust it.
Exactly. I bring this up because sense worm, it smells of worm is an expression.
Right.
All right. It didn't smell like the dog was there or again, beer and pizza. It was goulash night. That's not.
It doesn't smell like you're puffing a tailpipe.
Right.
I'm going to sense worm.
Well, the gift.
That's not how that works. Stop it.
And it's fine. But just, it's not a literal smell.
Right. Yeah.
And again, I think this is a great time to bring that up. Because it is like I'm pointed out there, that kind of feeling that just in the back of your head that I don't like. It's like a spider sense,
Spidey
kind
sense,
of.
Yeah.
Right.
The vibe's all.
Yeah. It's a vibe, not a literal scent.
Like, if you ever are describing a character who's got some extra, worm tainted on themselves, you might describe them like an oily bastard. Like, it might not actually be like they're greasy and absolutely filthy, but there's just something about them.
I mean, that can be true also.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. You could argue, what does the worm smell like? You could talk about decay. You could talk about something stale or something rotten, or all those can be true, but those are things that are associated with, that is not the smell of worm taint.
Yeah, it's exactly. Those are the associations of it.
Is it true that many black spirals are greasy and smell like shit? Sure, that's true. But
they kind of roll around in that shit.
Certainly not all of them. That's not a thing you can count on. That's an association people make. It's important to bring that up.
There might be one that, is devilishly handsome, smells like a real nice cologne, really draws you in.
Absolutely. Smeals mainly.
Meals mainly.
Ew.
I remember back with the Jaeger stories, and
I like how he's named them after him.
Yeah.
okay, well,
No, I know.
Your
When you
stories
first-
are careful.
when
He
you
doesn't want
first,
to call them the bitches and brews stories.
Yeah,
I forgot to name it.
Just go on. It's fine. I'm sorry.
But the bitches and brew stories, yes. But you brought in Vermilion, and yes, he was a Black Spiral dancer, but we didn't know that at the time.
Right.
And you brought him in, and you described him. He was dressed up, but like his shirt was a little too tight. Like he stole the shirt, kind of. But he had like a really cheap cologne on. Just trying to think what other kind of stuff there was, kind of like subtle things you brought in.
He liked making artwork out of body parts.
Well, I subtle.
Oh,
I said
sorry.
subtle.
Sorry. You've never done that? That's weird.
Yeah, right. But no, there was the subtle.
Everybody
like,
loves a good arm arrangement.
but it was the nice clothes. Clearly, he's probably never worn before. But like they were a little too tight for him, or that those pants probably didn't match that outfit.
I just like to show off his thunder.
CJ, close your ears for me for a second. Yeah, you go into his office and there's a couple piles of pretty.
Ah!
Nice. That's beautiful because that's Timeverse in action.
Yes, it is.
The only person who doesn't know is
CJ, so I made him take his ears off.
that was great.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, these are some of the ways Wormtaint can show up.
Right. And it's a great example like Danny just gave, is that Wormtaint doesn't always come in a frizzy-haired, snaggle-toothed madman.
Yeah.
Comes with a guy dressed as Eurotrash this time.
Eurotrash.
Or in the case of my games, a guy who looks like Ned Flanders is an actual person.
That's beautiful.
Just, he's going to put somebody's head through the table for not wiping their feet on the mat on the way in.
Yeah. What is it that makes him snap? And how quickly does that happen?
Everything.
But, I mean, mileage will vary.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at higher levels of Wormtaint, because it's probably a good idea as a storyteller to keep track of this sort of thing. But again, not as a gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I would discourage you secretly having a tally that you keep so that when it hits like 8, they lose control of their character or something.
Yeah.
Let's not make it a punishment. Let's enhance it for the, making an enhancement for role playing purposes where you want to go to, you're getting heavy in the Wormtaint. You feel like it's that corruption is getting a hold of you. You feel like you're not okay. Maybe you feel a little sickly or you notice that you're reacting to things incorrectly. We go back to that example I gave about how something is said, but it comes off to other people a different way because you don't realize you're using language that maybe is not right. Like you're calling a little girl a bitch because you want the amulet.
Or you see somebody get hit by a car, you just can't help but laugh.
Right? Like it's kind of funny. Like it's like that scene in the movie. It's
Like
funny.
you see him fucking bounce.
Right? Yeah, I love that.
And you can use other characters to like slowly let them know, like
Right. That's the thing is you let the reactions that people are on.
Yeah.
But here's my thing though, right? Like you said, you don't want to use it as a gotcha, right? What you want to use is to enhance. And this is when we go to ambiance. This is where we go to perception, but when it gets to these high levels, maybe we start ignoring the concept of subtlety. Maybe the player starts getting the shakes or they start hearing whispers.
That's exactly.
They feel bugs crawling under their skin and those whispers in their ear, and they know somewhere in the back, well, the player knows the things that are being whispered are wrong.
Right.
But the character seems trustworthy.
Yeah. This is the perfect time for if you have Discord in your game, send them just a little message.
Well, and if you're playing a game in person, first of all, good on you. This is where we pass a note.
Yep.
Right, whatever you need to behind that screen, fold that shit up and slide it over to somebody. It's one of my favorite tactics when I want someone to notice something different than everyone else does.
Yeah.
And I just slide a secret message over and go, okay, you didn't hear that at all. What you heard was she didn't say stop. She said he's a cop. And again, when you talk about this, like the idea of maybe a Bane whispering to you through the other side of the gauntlet.
Ooh. Oh, shit.
Right.
Maybe that forward animal coming up to you on bond detail.
It is fine. Yeah. Fucking, it's like Snow White, but gross.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and how about those things that are whispered? Aren't like, you should eat that baby and then go fuck your mother. Oh my God, that's great. No. Maybe it's, that was a really good idea. You're so much smarter than the rest of these people. You should be in charge.
Oh, yeah.
How dare you let them talk back to you and talk to you that way? You're so much better than that. You know what you should do? You should teach them a lesson.
Scott, you're only putting the problem into the future. You're only kicking the can down the road. You should solve it now.
You realize that he's trying to overthrow your alpha, right? You should do it first. It's all going to come crumbling down if you're not the one in charge here.
Affirmations and paranoia.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I should throw one in there, but those are all really good, so I'm just going to leave it like it is.
Just gonna whisper so you don't feel left out.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, sometimes you have the Bane that's just hanging out. It likes your vibe.
Let's get some chocolate ice cream.
Or after somebody says something, he's lying. He's lying to you.
Yup.
Oh, God. I'm fucking... This is all reminding me of a game.
CJ just realized he's worm tainted.
Maybe, but a great example of this is there's a game called Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice where you're playing as a character who hears voices. And the entire time, if you have headphones on, they have it binaural audio so you can hear actual like positioning. And you're hearing these voices constantly, and half of them lie. Like, they'll help you in combat and call out, like, you know, behind you if there is an enemy sneaking up behind you. Sometimes it's really helpful. Sometimes they're just lying.
That's great. I mean, that's exact. And let's talk about that too. Is that if you are having Banes you're working with, which is a good way to accumulate worm taint.
Yep. Yeah.
And again, going back to the radiation for the soul, you will get worm taint by fighting the worm.
Yeah, it just happens.
Yeah, just by proximity is going to happen. You know, the whole planet's radioactive. I don't know if you knew that. The whole planet. Yep. It's just about levels.
There's a big ball of radiation in the sky.
Exactly. So fucking hate to tell you. It's the same thing with worm taint, right? You're going to accumulate it by existing, right? So maybe it's part of like, it's like an oil change. You know, you got to get your oil change. You got to go to Erebus. Fuck, you got to do a rite of cleansing. It's part of your routine for the month. Maybe. But, you know, that idea is if you're dealing with Banes or something like that, yeah, they will be helpful.
Sometimes. No,
they will be helpful. I mean, you know, I mean, you're not like, wrong sometimes, but.
Let's go with the fight with the Scrags. You're fighting whatever Bane in the Umbra right now, and some Scrags happen to hear the noise, get drawn over. You're about to get jumped by whatever, by a Gutweiler. And the Scrag takes it down first.
Could be. I mean, that's a guy I wasn't even thinking of. It could be too. Yeah. But here's this though, right? They're going to help because they want you to trust them.
Oh, you're going that route.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Hey, look, you're getting the pitch. You're almost on our side.
The first one's free.
Yeah.
We've established credibility now. He's lying. Yeah, he really was lying. And so now you trust me.
Yeah.
That voice is suddenly trustworthy. The next thing it says, you might listen.
And maybe we'll do a few more that are right. So now just you can depend on me.
God damn it.
It's a little angel on your shoulder isn't showing up anymore. You don't need him. You got this guy. Remember,
And Angel's Fallen is now just as bad as everybody else.
remember, you're not crazy. I am.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is a
creepy,
fun thing
dude.
because I've played with a little bit of this Wyrm taint, like altering perceptions just a little bit with the Dream Eater Bane that I had made, the one that ate Wrath's character porter.
Yes.
And its whole thing was he got eaten by this. He took like 6 ag worth of damage from one bite. But he got free. He got out and he was healed fully. And I made him just bark a little dosis at the end of his tracker. As I was describing this thing, pulling him down into its maw, hands grabbing, tearing, stuffing mud and dirt into the wounds to make them burn. That was this Bane taking some of its own essence and putting it into him as a venom. And as, every time he woke up, I had him make a nightmare roll, basically, like the flaw. And I started describing the world a little bit duller, a little darker. It's harder just to even get up. Because the whole thing's eventual thing is it wants you to either kill yourself or give up and just not wake up so it can eat. As you accumulate more and more of its tainted essence.
CJ,
Now-
you're describing actual symptoms of depression with his
That was the point. But I didn't do this in isolation. There was another character in the sept who had got first. They were alone, so they thought they were going crazy, and I had them significantly further along in the process. So Wrath got to see the moment she dropped unconscious and wouldn't wake up. As she's going through very similar symptoms, and they started seeing like, oh, that's what's wrong. The ticking clock is going now.
And there you go. So we talked, we've been talking about this, right? Let's talk a bit about sights and sounds, about ways to cues to give, not only for if a character is tainted, but perhaps an area is tainted. How do we use Wyrm corruption, Wyrm taint to paint a scene, to evoke a feeling?
One of the ways that I usually think of with a lot of stuff, like especially, like let's go in a city. An alleyway in a city. Normally that's already dark and kind of filthy normally. But I would emphasize the darkness a little bit more. Like, yes, the front of the alley is lit up because of the sun coming down, but as you go further and further down, just to like emphasize the Wyrm taint in the area, it's it's a little dimmer. The buildings seem taller than they might actually be. There's more trash accumulating at the edges. It looks like nobody's come through here in a while. Start getting more of a sickly sweet scent, less of the usual sense of like just stench and decay, more linking it with like rotting fruit. Because sweet is usually seen as something good. But gangrene also gives a sweet scent.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Gasoline smells sweet in the right ways.
Oh, it's delicious.
Mm-hmm. But it's one of those things of like, I emphasize that the sickly sweet almost, but not quite there yet. Maybe this is where you color in the few people that are around, more the emphasizing people who have lost hope. Not just the hobo on the street, but the guy who's just sitting there with a 1,000-yard stare. The person you think might be dead until they take a breath. Just kind of with how downtrodden they are.
I like that.
So I'm going to make a reference to a show that me and Porter are watching right now. Welcome to Derry. There is a scene where the mother, I can't remember her character's name.
Hubbard?
What?
Hubbard?
The mom.
Yeah, Mother Hubbard.
Oh, okay.
Goose?
Is that
Teresa?
his last name?
No. Larissa?
You're making me crazy. Anyway.
And that is how we.
I don't trust that voice, though. Anyways.
Oh. You will.
So the mom is, buying some things, walking around town. Everything's just a little bit off. And then she sees of course, it's dairy. So you've got some teenaged boys beating up a younger teenage boy. And nobody does anything about it. They don't care. But she sees that it's wrong. But everybody is just walking by while the older teenagers are beating up the younger teenager in the middle of the road to a pulp. That's I feel like a really good way to show like that taint, like that calamity in that area.
No, that's a good call. I wasn't sure which mother you were talking about, so I just decided to make my own fun.
Yeah.
But no, that's a great point. No, I want to point out too with that same scene is once she intervened, the townsfolk did stop and take notice
Of her.
Yes,
Not of it. Of her, because she's the one acting out of place here.
exactly. I think that's a good example, right? But it's also kind of on point for it if we're talking about like a larger area. I think about we talk about those environmental factors like that. I like the idea of a buzzing of insects. All right, we know that the original purpose of the worm and its cycle, so it still does that, of course, but it does it through tainting, through corruption. It's still that entropy though. So the idea of like a dead animal or something rapidly decaying, use that sort of thing. Use the swarm of insects or maggots crawling out of the dead possum on the side of the road. It borrows some of the stuff CJ's saying, it borrows some stuff M's saying, some of these environmental factors. It's easy to lean on like neon colors. I mean, this isn't wrong either, but you think of green, but you think of green can evoke grass.
Yeah.
In nature, but like a neon green.
A little sicklier.
Yeah, that's sickness. That's unnatural.
More like a brown. Yeah.
And I like that, especially like dealing with the neon, the bright colors, because fucking decay, there's some like bright purple you get out of that in certain places, that bright green, deep blue, stuff like that, playing up the neon, playing up the buzzing. You're just walking down the streets. Maybe you're noticing those neon signs on like the various bars in this that are like really, really inviting. You're hearing that constant buzzing and you're thinking it's the neon, but no, it's the fucking moths and everything bouncing around.
Or maybe you're walking through town and you notice a daycare, then a bar right beside Child Protective Services.
Don't forget the strip club.
And just across the street, the strip club.
I was very proud of that little row. I felt it really hit the nail on the head.
Big time.
Something's not right here.
Right? Strip club, daycare, CVS.
Or it's just right.
Yeah.
What's it called? You're driving down just through a middle of a one stoplight town, and you just see a vulture sitting on the fence, just looking at the road.
Just
There's
waiting.
no roadkill yet.
Also, I want to do there is the sneakers with the shoelaces tied together around the. I think it also helps evoke that sort of thing, that loneliness, that isolation, that something's not quite right.
That one intersection corner where you have like 16 different of the little white crosses.
Or maybe even a street where every single thing is closed down except for the bar or except for that strip club. All the other, like in that downtown area, they're all boarded up on that one road except for maybe the one or two businesses there.
But even then, right? Yeah, the one or two, they don't even necessarily have to be
boarded up. They're just closed for the night.
Well no, I was going to say they don't even have to be businesses of, for lack of a better term, ill repute. It doesn't have to necessarily be something seedy like a bar or a strip club. Not that I'm
Maybe just
throwing
the pharmacy.
shade on those. Right. But maybe the pharmacy is closed. Right. And then there's like a nail salon that's there still. Or, a real world case in point, somewhat nearby. You know, there's a strip mall kind of around here that had a Rite Aid or a CVS, or I don't know the difference, honestly. They're all the same, so I'm not sure which one is which. But like a drugstore that had closed and shut down. And there was a Salvation Army in that place that shut down.
Yeah.
Right? Now there's a dollar store, there's a restaurant, there's a nail salon, and that's it in the strip mall.
That reminds me of a area in the town I used to live in. There was a small strip mall that used to have a theater. It used to have a gym. It used to have a restaurant, but the only thing left there was a hair place to get your hair cut.
Right?
Yep.
And the parking lot was always just empty.
Not too far from the strip mall I just mentioned, there is a cell phone repair shop.
Or wait, a mattress store?
And next to a massage parlor. Both seem perfectly legit to me.
Sure do.
I definitely would walk into either one of those buildings next to the other one and feel good about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And at the same time, you can do the occasional time where maybe it's the odd thing out here of like, yeah, no, it's the one building that's open, or you know, you've got the street that you're going down. Here's the pharmacy that's closed with the security gate down. Here's maybe that, you know, the bail bondsman who's just closed up for the night. The hair salon that went out of business is boarded up, and then you have a Blockbuster. Lights on, clean sidewalk, the one street light that's working.
Wow, what a difference. That was their slogan at a point in time before half of you were born.
It seems like a little sanctuary, a little place of normalcy, a little place of peace. Why don't you come inside? Maybe check out some Slaughterhouse Film stuff.
Yeah, it's totally safe.
Yeah.
Some Slaughterhouse Film stuff. I see what you're doing there, son of a bitch.
Latest Telus games. It's good.
What's that buzzing sound?
Did you see that they're making an Action Bill movie? There's a kiosk full of the merch. You could buy yourself an Action Bill doll.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just like a really normal downtown area. You've got the nice comic book store open right there. Real good, nice clean windows. Looks nice. Right next door, pharmacy with the shattered window that's taped up for now because, you know, it needs repaired, but they don't got the money to do it.
Amen.
Mm-hmm. You know, really play up that like urban decay in certain areas, but not quite to the point of like the nature's reclaiming.
Right. Because that's a different thing.
That's a different story.
Entirely, yeah.
Oh, like, you know, you might go down this one area that's mostly abandoned. You might see that deer in the road where you're going almost there, but that deer is
Sick.
mangy, sick. Maybe it's panting, which is not something you normally see with an animal like that. That's usually signs something's not right.
And I think to double down on nature, you know, we talk about and how to use in the world. How about dead grass?
Mm-hmm.
You know, patches of dead grass. We already talked about like the idea of the roadkill or the dead animal and the buzzings. You know, the vultures will be good for that too, which again isn't necessarily a bad thing. Vulture spirits are real. They're friendly, allegedly. Hopefully, don't fuck it up. That's on you, honestly.
They're just scavengers.
Right, exactly. They're just scavengers. But the image of them invokes if there's a scavenger, there's something dead. Dead things decay. It's a subtle use. At least should be used subtly.
Yes.
Anything can be, you fucking hit us over the head with it, right? But
no, but I like the patches of grass.
Yeah.
Are dying because it's not all of it. Patches of it though.
You got the weeds pushing their way up through the sidewalk.
Patches of weeds. There you go. Some of the trees are dead. Not all of
Yeah,
them, but
there's
they're dying.
Yeah, there's a disease going around with the trees, killing them.
Fungal growth, where maybe it's a little odd.
Taking over, yeah.
It's a good example.
Whenever you take a road trip, less bugs are on your windshield. Like as you go into this area, used to drive, there was tons of bugs on your windshield. Now there's less here.
I even like what you do, Porter, when someone does sense worm, and if that area is really corrupted, it's just a fucking nosebleed.
It's,
it's no longer subtle at that point.
exactly.
Yeah. I go for a soul migraine sometimes.
Sometimes that too, right? If it's bad, it's going to be bad. You're going to react to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the nosebleed is a visceral, very clear reaction.
Oh yeah.
That something's not right.
Yep. Maybe you should have a stuffed up nose. That's not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens whenever it does start getting too much in some of these areas, or for the players? How might they deal with it, do you think? What might you suggest, aside from just the usual trip to Erebus?
Well, a trip to Erebus, I don't want to use the word usual. That should be...
True. That is the extreme. That is the extreme.
Yeah,
right. That should be a little Herculean.
Bring up.
That's a big deal, yeah.
And here's the rub there too, right? Because the extreme would probably be a trip to Erebus, but that also runs the risk of being boring.
Oh, big time.
Because once you get there, what do you do when you're just sitting there?
For listeners who don't know what Erebus is.
Oh, fair enough. Erebus is the Umbralino realm, where you can enter the Lake of Molten Silver and cleanse yourself of worm corruption. That is, of course, the Cliff Notes version. But
It hurts like hell, but you are getting rid of all worm taint.
All right. You can find those in the Book of the Umbra or our Near Realm series from a couple years ago. It's a couple years. It doesn't matter. Yeah. That's the least important part. The air date is the least important. Thank you.
Right.
But no, the other option, right? The immediate option is a rite of cleansing. And there's nothing wrong with that. That'll cure what ails you on a lower level. Right. But you also run the risk of that becoming mundane. You don't want, it's okay if it's boring, but we need to regard it more as more than taking out the garbage every week.
Yeah.
So it's got to be a little bit more than...
We got to find a middle ground.
Yeah. All right, there you go.
Now, that said, I like the idea of if you are at a higher level of taint or a particular severity, because again, this isn't a meter, right? Mm-hmm. And even if there were one on your character sheet, it's not on your Garu.
Right. It's not on your arm. You can't look down and check, oh shit.
And we've done that before. Oh shit, let's look at the back of my fucking forearm to see my rage tattoo meter that tells me how many dots of rage I have in real life. That's not, it's not there.
Better drink that bottle of ketchup.
Exactly. Perfect. Calm down, Carl. But so what about that idea, right? That you're going in for your weekly cleansing. Yeah, your weekly checkup. And you just assume you're fine. Mm-hmm. But it's not doing the job.
See, that would be cool.
Right? Because you are taking, the vaccine for, I don't know, malaria. But you don't have malaria. You have Ebola. You think the shot is covering you because that's what it's supposed to be.
Oh.
But this is weird. Flintstones chewables is not the response.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Once the fucking snake gets too far in there, you gotta really work to get it out. You can't just scrub it off.
Exactly.
And it's one of the things of when you get worm tainted enough that it's showing up, say, in your gnosis, One of the things I like to use from the Rite of Cleansing, I don't know if it's stated in the other editions, but I know in 20 it mentions it dealing like ag if you're cleansing certain creatures or things that are tainted enough. You should know it's working whenever it really fucking sucks. But if it's not, then it's like, maybe I wasn't that worm tainted.
Or maybe you just, you're too worm tainted.
Exactly.
But you won't know because you can't pull up the forearm meter.
Mm-hmm.
I like that idea though. Like you go to get oh man, did some crazy shit. I need a rite of cleansing.
I mean, that becomes the response to making it mundane.
Right.
Maybe the rite of cleansing just gets rid of the smell, but it doesn't wash away the issue itself. You're going to have to find something else, if not Erebus, right? Maybe you have to get some kind of spirit to help you purge the taint. Maybe it's like some kind of umbral crawl or experience that you have to go through in order to get rid of it. Because the rite of cleansing just kind of washes that smell off the surface, but not what's going on deep inside.
I like that idea.
So that is good. May the angel rise on you.
Hi, this is Em with Rage Across the Internet, your favorite Werewolf the Apocalypse podcast. Since 2020, here at RAI, we play, research, and talk about Werewolf the Apocalypse. If you would like to support these poor, sad podcasters so that we can continue to deliver you exciting new content for Werewolf the Apocalypse, please join one of our support tiers on Ko-Fi.com. With this, we take a break from our toil and give you all kinds of rewards. Our first tiers give you access to joining our backers chat on Discord and an invite to our monthly bad movie night and our Discord game team. At higher tiers, you get an extra episode each month, like our postmortems, where we break down the scripts of old werewolf games. And at our highest tier, you gain access to our NPC of the month, where Porter writes and sends you a character or location description from his personal Bible. To help support these poor, hard-working podcasters, go online to ko-fi.com/rage across the internet. That's ko-fi.com/rage across the internet. All one word. You will gain access to this month's rewards, and we will turn your name a special color on our Discord because someone like you really cares. Now, back to the show.
At the Ko-Fi. Come on. Please be cool. I think all of these, right? You put these together, and I think we've got a pretty solid look at the things you can do. Do we have anything else to land on with this?
It's not just one thing. And it's certainly not a pure game mechanic.
Again, to be clear, it's also not a bad guy detector.
Yep.
Sense Wyrm is not a bad guy detector. It's not sense evil.
Yes.
Yep. You might go use Sense Wyrm at a McDonald's and get a small nosebleed. But, this might be, the mom and pop shop that opened up because they finally got the money for the franchise. It's not Otali's.
Unless McDonald's is Otali's here.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. Maybe it is. The mom and pop opened it with strong family values and they feel good and they're good people and they're kind and you're getting the Sense Wyrm vibes because they're holding meat from Golden Way. Mm-hmm. It's because there's beans in the goddamn cheeseburgers that they're flipping. Mm-hmm. They're not corrupted yet, allegedly. But for this scenario, they're not corrupted.
Right.
The fucking burgers are. So they quote smell, and again, not an actual scent. I mean, they smell like burgers, yes. But they're getting a little residual worm taint by proximity. Again, radiation for the soul.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You're not sprayed by a skunk. It's radiation for the soul.
And it is one of those things of just existing in the world, existing in the city, fighting Banes.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
There's not a single Garu out here who isn't cleaning bloodstains out of their clothes at least once. Now imagine the radiation that's coming off of these things as you're fighting it.
Maybe you go to do the rite of cleansing because you do smell some worm taint on yourselves, right? But because worm taint is so deep and insidious, or it can be, there could be some unintended consequences. You could take some actual damage from it. Or perhaps it becomes unbearably painful to continue the rite. Extra boring, extra long. This is taking 2 hours, 3 hours. This has to be done, right?
And what I like here, right, is taking extra long or being extra boring are two completely separate reactions to said corruption.
Mm-hmm.
And could be used differently depending on the severity of the corruption within the individual. You know, let's never always be, you don't want to always, we don't know always anything, right?
Yeah.
But when you're playing stuff out like this, play it differently. Make sure, two people react to a thing the same.
It's also not a super obvious description that something's wrong.
Exactly. Because as much as we enjoy, right, our meat puppets and our scrags and our psychomanchies, as much as we like to see Teddy Talltail make his family and have a little teddy bear parade down the street.
God damn it.
The worm is not always so blatant.
Right.
It's winning for a reason.
Right. The worm is not just the monster with 3 heads and a baby hanging out of its mouth.
Oh my God.
It's also the whisper telling you that you're special. And that what they need doesn't matter. You know what's important.
Here's another one that could be a subtle sign that something's wrong. Jaeger, you've been fighting a bunch of Banes recently. You wake up one day and your forearm, the one that's missing, really just starts itching. That phantom pain. It's just like really that annoying sense. Something's not quite right. Hey, what'd you lose that arm to?
You're asking me the question?
Yeah. What'd you lose the arm to?
Oh, yeah, Vermilion sliced it with the clave.
Yeah, a black spiral dancer.
Mm-hmm.
Something of the worm. Like some people get the weird pain in their joints whenever the weather changes. Maybe this is your body or your soul telling you, yeah, no, something's not right.
But that's the thing. However you choose to use worm taint, the worm corruption, it's a very important part of the game. It's something that sometimes people sleep on and, maybe don't. So, hopefully here we've given you enough ideas and maybe some tools, some thoughts. We'd love to hear yours, obviously.
Yes, please.
You can get us up through the Discord and also get some like-minded people. Maybe not just us, right? There's plenty of folks there to talk to. And for now, you give us your ideas, some thoughts, something that you like to do differently. We certainly will probably at some point dip back into the idea of taking Gnosis and maybe find a system that will work for that we could share with you for the future. That's a maybe. That's a probably. Don't. But it's a good idea, certainly.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Have you got your own stories of like when you've done this as an ST or when an ST has done this for you and it's like really come out well? Fucking tell it. We're a digital set for a reason. We love our stories.
We got the player storyteller corner for just that reason.
Yep.
So don't be a stranger. Don't be shy. And in the meantime, though, that is it for us. Very nice season opener, I think.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're definitely going to have some fun this year. Hope you enjoy the new music. We certainly do. I want to say on behalf of everyone here at the studio, we want to thank you so much for listening and sticking with us for all these years and for the time to come. In the meantime, you take care of yourselves, you take care of each other, because we are all in this together, and it's important to focus on the things that keep us together and not the things that tear us apart. We'll see you next time.